Remember this Coach CD case transformation? Well, I thrifted an entire bundle for $9 each, so I'm challenging myself to transform each one into something different. Starting with a sketchbook from scratch for Miss Raspberry. I've always had one growing up. It was like my journal, a safe place if you will. First step, the paper. I'm using 4 sheets per signature, just a fancy name for a group of folded sheets. I measured and then cut them to size. I'm using my seam creaser here as a bone folder to get those nice clean lines. Now that we have our signatures, I'm piercing holes 1 inch apart along the fold. This will help with the binding later. You'll see. I'm using a wax thread and the Coptic technique to bind the signatures together. There are a few other methods, but this allows the pages to lay flat, which is how I prefer my sketchbooks. Kind of like crocheting or knitting, you gotta keep the tension nice and even. Too tight and the pages can pucker. I'm actually so proud of my little chain stitches. It's been a while, so I didn't know if I still had it in me. I'm using my shibori blocks and clamps to press everything together, and some good old Elmer's glue. I think you're supposed to use PVA glue, but this is all I had. Now let's cut up some twine and velvet ribbons for the book headbands. A cute pop of red never hurts. Glue it all down again, and then let's reinforce our spine with a layer of fabric to really hold it all together. And while we let that dry, let's cut out the covers and line up the pages. Oh, thanks, Herman. That's much better. To assemble the cover, I'm spreading the glue onto the board, then applying it to the back side of this leather piece. This was the only color that would work from my scrap pile. And I also don't have enough, but that's okay since the back cover will slide into the CD case sleeve. Clean up the edges and secure them down with some glue and my favorite pins, of course. These pink cover pages I added earlier help hide the cover seams and gives it a nice finished look. And a little hiccup here, the back cover didn't slide into the sleeve like I said it would, but a little adjustment and we're back on track. But why stop there? The cover needed some personality, so I'm adding a little something inspired by these colors and this bite mark on the cover. Any guesses? This raspberry is looking a bit rough, like did someone get hungry, or maybe they were just really serious about their taste in music. Either way, it's time for a spa day. And a little massage with some leather CPR followed by a gentle buffing. And as a reminder, here's what the CD case looked like before, and here she is now. Complete with a cute shortbread cookie with a dusting of powdered sugar inspired by her raspberry butter yellow cover. Even finished it off with raspberry jam and scalloped edges as a nod to the bite mark. Can't wait to fill these pages up with all sorts of ideas and madness. Make sure to follow along because we still have 4 more cases to solve. Help a girl out and drop your ideas below.